Hello and welcome to this playthrough of Factorio, where I am building a megabase on Earth. I am using a mod, Cities of Earth, focusing on the Old World Hemisphere. My goal is to reach 10,000 science per minute with a rail-based design. The resources are set to maximum size and density, and biters and pollution are turned off. The mod list is shown in the description, as well as a link to my Twitch channel, High Speed. Please come visit me there. Questions and comments are welcome. Thank you for watching. You can hold on to these too. Good. That's fine. That's probably more than I need you to carry. Let's check you, make sure you're empty, 5. Yeah, you are. Good. Alright, so what's going to happen here? Well, first off, I need to re-enable this train. And that means I need to re-enable these stations. Oh, damn it. Well, you're going there. Alright. So what's going to happen here? So I don't trust any of these placements. That's going to become a 4-way. That's going to make rails. This purple's going to go, so I need to get these trains out of here. I thought I turned all these off. Really? Is that tight? Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. That's why. Yes, that's wrong. Let's save this off. We're not doing this anymore. I may redesign this intersection because I don't like it. This is in a bad place. So we'll leave it alone, but I don't like it. Oh yeah, I gotta get these trains out of here. Far left. Slot 2. Slot 3. And that takes care of all these trains. So this will become a 4-way, which means that I need to delete a bunch of stuff. And then all of this is going to get moved in there. But I don't like that I have a T-junction like that where they can go in either direction. So I'm going to shift it over here, I think. And then one of these is going to be the... So you're going to have less outbound traffic. So I want you on the leg side of this, and you're going to have all of the outbound traffic. So I want you here. But you're taller. And that T-junction I just built, I want to move that as far down as I can. Because that's stupid. What's not here? I'm missing stuff here. Did you fix this? Yes, you did. Well, time for you to get over here then. Good. That's functional again. I'm looking for places where I could simultaneously be doing work. Oh, that's why I didn't want to bring him here. That's all right. I can go back to doing the nuclear work later. Nuclear fuel work later. I was going to leave number 5 down here to do all the nuclear fuel updates over here. Because these all have to be converted from rocket fuel to nuclear fuel. But I don't even know if nuclear fuel was worth it, but I need them for this heavy lift here, because there's going to be a bunch of movement. So if I want this to go straight, and I want it, it's not going to be able to go as low as I can. It looks like it'll go about here. So we'll temporarily put that there. And if this is where that goes, that's one lower. Oh, it fits right there. Alright, so then this can go one lower. That's the west dude. Hello, west dude. So I know that's too low. So this is that T-junction. So this will go here. But I don't quite want to place it yet, because if I place it, bots will try and build it right now. And I don't want that. Did I put that song in the queue? Right here, right now, you mean? I think it's part of my music collection. So with that, I can go ahead and delete this. How ironic. So I usually start this by deleting all the rails, and that's what this is for. So let's follow that pattern. I am going to need a bunch of trains to make this happen. The biggest one is going to be the big emptier. The problem with the big emptier is that I have no excuse me, no way to turn it around. But I'll deal with that later. I don't think I'm going to use you. Waiting for that bot. Waiting for those bots to get back on board. All right. So this is going to be a four-way. Reason being is that I'm going to be building another rail assembler there. I don't know why that didn't get picked up. I want roboports that increase the maximum number of robots, but not the maximum distance. That can stay because we're going to build there. So come over here and finish this for me. That way, at least this is fully functional. And then I need this out of the way, and I'm going to go down there and do site prep. This is not going to feed into the next song. Kogami, welcome. Welcome. You're full. Kind of worried about that. Question is why? I gave you a ton of lamps. Should not have done that. Turn off my bots. Well, do I have any rails? No, I don't. Now I'm going to turn off my bots because I don't want all these trees. That didn't work as I wanted. Something a lot of people don't know about creative types is that, like Amadeus, Beethoven, Van Gogh, is they created. I mean, the creative process is iterative and massive. And these people created massive quantities of work, and most of the creations, like most of our creations, sucked. It wasn't so much that these creative types were brilliant or incredibly talented. They just kept going. They loved what they were doing so much that they kept growing pitches. Maybe they didn't love it so much, but maybe they were obsessed with doing it so much that they never stopped painting or composing or whatever. So we look back and go, oh, they got all this great work. It's because they got all this work. Their ratio for creating great work might be a little better than most people because they created so much work. But they still created an absolute ton of work. So I was watching Hitch's girlfriend, Sarah Bridgewater, a little earlier. She was doing some home crafty stuff. They've got a townhouse now, and so she can decorate it. And for the last couple days, she commented that for the last couple days, everything she's created hasn't worked. And I couldn't type a message in time before she went on to a different topic, and I had to get online. But that, what I just talked about, popped into my head is that if you're a creative type, most of what you do is going to suck. Most of what you do isn't going to, quote, work. And this MegaBase is a great example. Most of what I've built hasn't worked. Oh, I've got power poles where they shouldn't be. Shit. So, paraphrasing what I can't remember I think it was the guy who invented the light bulb. I've learned 1,000 ways how not to build a MegaBase. Ha ha ha! Stopped you from picking up a useless piece of wood, even though I hate those. Oh, this train's in the way of that. Well, whether it's bunk or not, the sentiment is accurate. And okay, so I stopped using that quote, but I'm going to keep using that. I've learned 1,000 ways how not to make a MegaBase. And maybe it ain't 1,000, but it's still accurate. I know lots of ways to not make a MegaBase. I also happen to know that my way of making a MegaBase is different than most, and I'm okay with that. And Tesla's response might be right. Might be the right way to do it. But on the other hand, I like experimenting. And who knows? I mean, I think Tesla might be wrong there. So, or you can learn what went wrong and learn from the mistakes and do it in 5. I don't actually agree with that. Maybe learning from the mistakes and still continuing to iterate is part of the process. Not like Firestone was an idiot. Oh, this is going to need all those power poles, isn't it? This is one of those designs. All right, once you get out of the way, the demolition crew can get in here. We want the non-chest destruction. Are you literally full already? Also, I seem to have given away all my chests. I didn't want you turned on. Wow. Well, let's see if I can put these someplace where I'm not likely to have to blow them up. Because I'm going to end up putting a rail set up here, up there. And it's going to go like here. Thanks for the lurk, West dude. Why did you stop picking things up? Nope, not those. I'm hoping to not have to empty out all their other inventories. What am I looking forward to most in 2.0? Blueprint, the blueprint thing. And I'm really tempted to check out that person's implementation of the blueprint thing. After that, it's going to be elevated train rails. Not for the reason most people think. Because I'm not going to put elevated rails in close-in spaces. I'm going to use them in high-capacity spaces. Modular blueprints that can have variables in them, so that you can, like, yeah, you should look at that. It lets you have blueprints that are formulaic and programmatically driven. You can put template blueprints and have things like these filter inserters. You can have a filter inserter, and then before you place it, you tell it, okay, when you place this blueprint, all these filter inserters put a prod mod 1 filter on it. Yes. Hey, kitty cat. I'll be right back. Yeah, I have no interest in the quality mod. I might not even install that mod or activate that mod, which I think is a brilliant move on their part. My buddy and I, when this song was popular, replaced the lyrics from I Need You to I Eat Poo. It made the song much funnier. Yeah, the thing I have about the quality is that it's just going to create this. Well, there's a couple things. It's going to add a complexity level of recycling items until you get the effect you want, the level of whatever it is that you want, which I think is counterproductive to an automation game. You know, just let me Let me build what I want to build. Don't make me recycle something because it's the randomness that I dislike. That's what I disagree with right there. And then the second element of it is the blueprint screw up. It's just hi, kitty cat. It just completely destroys my blueprints. If you change the power pole length and area of effect, how can I make a blueprint with that? I'm going to have multiple stages of blueprints, and then how do I support people who are using my blueprints? Because I'm going to say, oh yeah, use at this phase of the game, because I mean, I've got these blueprints, right? Okay, so you're not going to use any quality at this point in the game. Cool. Oh, you're such a good cat. Yes, that was you bit me. And it almost hurt. But I have this blueprint here, which is built up in stages as you go. So you start with the simple one, and then you go to the ones a little more complicated and a little more complicated. Okay, so let's say I have a quality blueprint, or a blueprint that uses quality. I hadn't thought of, yeah. Thanks, Major Mayhem. I get this blueprint here. It's like, okay, now replace all the power poles with power poles that have farther reach. Well, this is designed for a specific size power pole. A power pole with more reach, pardon the language, fucks everything. You're going to give me a long distance power pole that, okay, already I've got to go from 30 to 32. That's fine. All my blueprints have to be redone. I'm excited about that. I love that because I get to make tileable blueprints on a thing. But the individual blueprint, you know, that, like this design. Here's a substation. It has an area and it has a reach. Am I going to change this blueprint because suddenly I get a substation that can reach a scooch farther? Really? I'm going to do that? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Oh, Kari the Mad. Hello. Change the underground belt lengths and tier, and that seems fine. Yes, because I don't change underground. My blueprints. So first off, let me say hello. So if we go look at this, I have that issue here. First off, I usually limit my designs to 4-tile underbelts. And I can't zoom in on this, but let's go take a look at the actual where I've built it. This starts out as a yellow belt blueprint. And so all of the underbelts and designs are for yellow belt. So you look at this and you go, well, this is red belt. This could have been here because it probably would have reached, right? Because if I did that, it would have reached. But this starts as a yellow belt. It's this. And then I have a upgrade planner that upgrades it from yellow to red. But it's still technology-based, set in yellow. But this is designed around red belt. So even though I don't really have a long red belt underbelt that I use, I have it in a couple of places like here. So this one's designed to use red belt. So this isn't designed to upgrade. And then these blue belts that I'm using here, some of these blue belts are really long underbelt. So I don't have an issue with that upgrade, underbelt tiering, because I designed my factories around a technology set. So they're going to add another belt. Okay, I'm going to design a factory that supports that level of technology using that belt from the get-go. I'll be fine with that. But if I get a series of belts that have slightly longer range underbelt, am I going to design a factory around that? I don't know. Why would I? How could I? At what point does my blueprint library become ridiculous? Yeah. I have a hard time managing, because this is just starter bases, right? This is base 1 and 2. And then I've got these factories. I've got factories for infrastructure, and a factory for science and research, and a factory for rocket components, and a factory for arty, right? And now I'm on to rails. I've got all these factories for the different types of rails with common layouts. And then I've got all the stuff I do for defenses, like I've got a defensive wall. If I have a requirement that I have to have a certain level of quality before I can use this blueprint, well, then I'm going to have a factory that looks like a frickin' mess, because I'm going to have some artifacts that have this technology level versus that technology level. And again, the generation of them, making them, is shit. Because I can't just say, oh, make me a legendary quality power pole. No, I have to recycle it until I get legendary quality. Which is fine. Set that up, automate it, walk away. But it takes time. It takes setting it up. So I'm the type of player, and I'm kind of on a rant. Okay, I should probably turn this status off. I'm the type of player that doesn't want to spend too much mental faculties figuring something out in-game, because every time I make a decision in-game, it decreases the length of time that I can play. And if I want to be able to play for 6, 8, 10, 12 hours, I can't be making a bunch of micro decisions, because my brain, just simply can't do intense computations and long duration sessions. I have to do one or the other. I like them. Well, when I say recycle, I mean reuse. You can use the quality modules in machines from the components to the end product, so legendary can be made of legendary. Yeah, I might not understand the technology correctly, but I think that just goes to show that I dismissed it from the outset. There's technical details that I just like threw it away. It's like, okay, I'm not using this. This breaks too many of my modes of playing that I just can't process it, and I'm just not gonna. So right there, my understanding of how it's going to work is skewed, and that just demonstrates that I just threw the whole thing away. I just said, fuck it. That's not for me. And like I said, that is probably one of the most beautiful parts about Factorio, is that element is modular. I don't have to use it. I'm going to have a good time without it. Yeah, gaming, you and I on the same page there. And it's not just for me. I mean, I make these blueprints. I share the blueprints. They're on GitHub, so that other people who don't have the spare time and dedication to the game that I do, but still want to have a good gaming experience, can make use of those blueprints. And people say, well, you should design your own stuff. Well, my argument is in the game Stray. I use this comparison quite a bit. I watched a man, and I think, I can't remember his name right now. Giant Waffle, I think, is his name. I watched him play this video game called Stray, where you play the role of a cat, and you're in this puzzle game. And it's a beautiful game. I absolutely adore that game. I just think it's fantastic. Yeah. I hope to get to his level someday. I'll never have that beard, but he's... So I watched him play Stray. And I sent him $20 when he finished the game, because I feel like I've played Stray. I was still employed at the time, so I had disposable cash to do that with. But that, to me, is one of the guiding motifs of why I play Factorio and share my blueprints, why I stream Factorio and share my blueprints. Because there are people who don't have the time to learn Factorio well enough to set up these advanced factories, but they want the experience of setting up these advanced factories. I'm happy to provide that. I'm happy to share that. And I get feedback. And I get to improve because other people give me their perspective. Like we just talked about the quality thing. Like, let's say there was an easy-to-get quality improvement that made a significant difference, like beacon size, right? Beacon range. And if I did all of my blueprints to have that, or power poles, right? If there was a change that made power poles so OP that, well, hello, kitty cat, that I just absolutely, it revolutionized my designs, then I changed my mind on blueprint, on quality modules. Haven't seen it yet. But that's where I am, and that's one of the reasons. Yeah, Alkari, that's a great perspective. Gopher, thanks for the follow. And for following, you get your name on a cargo wagon. You are on a cargo wagon for coal in the bottom of Saudi Arabia. Dude, it's freaking hot down here. And you're shuffling coal around. You're probably one of those people that sit in saunas and like do cold plunges and stuff like that. You probably don't even wear a hat in the sun. Nakogami, that's an interesting point. I'm sorry, Lycum, were you saying I need to be mining, doing a bunch of, okay, or maybe another one here too? Thanks for the suggestion. Gopher. I didn't plan it that way, Lycum. That's just what I needed. Do I still have this in my buffer? Let's just get rid of all that. So it's a different design. Oh, I gotta go do some landfill. And the music player broke again. Science is another interesting one. Another module like prod can reduce but aren't required. So, yeah, I'm thinking about it from an operations perspective, or an operational perspective. Operations perspective, I guess. How do I convey that to someone else? Yeah, in order to use this blueprint, you have to set up this factory, and then you have to run this quality function until you get these results. And then you take the output of those things, and that's how you build your satellite production assembler. And that way you're going to get more science out of launching a rocket. Oh, that's just a headache I don't want to have to deal with. I like the consistency of saying, you build this, you get that. But I can see the commentary and the argument the other way. I can totally see that. Because it's essentially just another sub-factory, right? Like I'm thinking out loud here, but I've got my primary factory that makes some modules. It makes prod and speed modules. But it doesn't make enough. And I can't just slap down another column of speed modules because I don't have enough blue chips to support it, and I don't have room to put more blue chips, red chips, green chips, because I don't have the capacity to bring that shit in. So what I did is I built a mini factory just for making speed modules. So if I extrapolate that, and I built another one for prod mods, if I extrapolate that into what you're saying for quality, like I need legendary assemblers. In order to be able to get the satellites that I want that generate more science, then I would basically have to have a mini factory that makes high quality assemblers. Yeah, but Nekogami, that's the thing, is that I built this MegaBase. I designed this MegaBase around how much science I get from a launch. There's 4 here, and this is this size because there's 4 here. And there's 4 here because in total I want 10k SPM. In order to get 10k SPM, I need 12 silos. 11, technically. Now, if you tell me that I can use an additional step to get top-tier assemblers so that I don't need as many rocket silos, then I cut this in half. Yeah, I use modules in the silos, right? So if I cut this in half because I spend the time over here making a bunch of high-quality assemblers, then I'd be a fool not to integrate that technology in there. It's the same reason I'm using beacons when I don't like beacons. I don't fucking want beacons and modules in here. This design is